Welcome to another edition of the Abrams Boxing Show. I'm Marc Abrams, and we have a gigantic show for you this week as we have two major guests who are headlining separate cards on Saturday night. We'll have former super middleweight champion of the world, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, who takes on Arsen Goulimirian live on DAZN, as well as Sebastian Fundora, who was thrusted into the main event for the beginning and the opening Amazon pay-per-view, Amazon Prime Video pay-per-view, as he takes on Tim Tszyu for the WBC and WBO Junior Middleweight Championship. But before we get to them, we got some news of the week. Unbeaten super lightweight Dalton Smith scored a fifth-round stoppage over former three-time world title challenger Jose Zepeda. That fight took place live on Sheffield, England. It was live on DAZN here in the United States. Smith now 16-0, 12 knockouts, hit him with a body shot. Smith has been touted as one of the next big prospects coming out of England. Kind of took that step now from prospect to contender. Dalton Smith in the 140-pound division is one to be reckoned with. I think he's a good young fighter. I had actually a chance to meet him last year in Las Vegas. Nice young man, and he can fight a little bit. So I mean that was the main event that saw as well as the WBO female welterweight champion Sandy Ryan stopped former world champion Terry Harper in 4 rounds. Harper's corner pulled the plug on the fight after round 4. Ryan now 7-1 and 1, 3 knockouts. Harper now 14-2 and 2. Like I said, Ryan dominated the fight, and Harper's corner decided that their fighter had enough. Lots of great fights this week going on. First, we'll start Friday night in Glendale, Arizona, as Oscar Valdez takes on Liam Wilson for the WBO Interim Junior Lightweight Championship. That was upgraded just today as we tape this show for Valdez and Wilson. Should be an excellent fight. Wilson, as you remember, we saw fight Emmanuel Navarrete, dropped him and had him in trouble several other times before getting stopped himself. Valdez always in great fights. That'll be in Arizona, and we'll have up-to-the-minute coverage live on 15rounds.com while the show is going on. The fight, though, that may be getting a little bit more publicity is a battle for the undisputed minimum weight championship as Sinisa Estrada takes on Yokosuka Valley. The card be live on ESPN Plus. I'm going to go with Valdez and Estrada in terrific fights. I think you got ESPN Plus, you should definitely watch this show. If you don't have it, I would get it. It's going to be a very good show Friday night in Glendale, Arizona. Also, Friday night on DAZN, Overtime Boxing is back for its second season. Terrific prospects will be featured on the card, such as O'Shea Jones, Haven Brady Jr., Giovanni Marquez, and Dante Lane will all be in action. Saturday night, the inaugural Amazon Prime pay-per-view will take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, and it's going to be a very fun card, which will be headlined by the main event that will pit WBO champion Tim Tszyu taking on Sebastian Fundora. Fundora coming off the knockout loss to Brian Mendoza, was scheduled to fight Sergey Boachuk. Keith Thurman gets hurts his elbow, and then insert Sebastian Fundora in the main event. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of contact in this fight. I like Tszyu in the fight only because I don't know, Fundora maybe needed maybe one fight since the knockout. I would have liked that more out of him, but I think it's going to be a very fun fight to watch. And earlier this week, I had a chance to talk to Sebastian Fundora, and like I said, the late insert into the fight, and this is what he had to say. Now joining me on the line is Sebastian Fundora, who this Saturday night takes on Tim Tszyu in the main event of Amazon Prime pay-per-view live in Las Vegas. Sebastian, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for taking a few minutes to talk to me today. We're 12 days notice to fight Tim Tszyu in the main event of a big pay-per-view card. When you got that call, what were your thoughts?
I was extremely excited. He's a big name, and then this is the main event on a pay-per-view card in Las Vegas. This is the boxing capital of the world, so it's a big deal, and it's for 2 belts, the WBC and the WBO. So, of course, I'm going to take this opportunity.
You feel you have a little bit of an advantage in the sense that you are training for a orthodox offensive-minded fighter in Sergey Boachuk. He was trained for more or less a boxer puncher, 5'10" guy, whatever Keith Thurman's height is. And obviously the uniqueness, all the uniqueness that you bring in terms of the height, the way you fight, the nonstop action. You feel 12 days is enough for him to kind of pivot and, take on what you have to bring on Saturday night?
I'm sure he's thinking the same thing as me. This is a legacy fight. This is a unification fight. So this is a big deal. There's opportunity you can't turn down.
After everything that went on in the Mendoza fight, did you think a fight of this magnitude would appear on your doorstep this quickly? In fact, you were actually supposed to fight for the interim title with Boachuk to begin with, which is a big opportunity. Now you got, like you said, this big opportunity here on Saturday night.
I felt maybe after this fight we would have fought. I would have fought Tim Tszyu. It probably would have been that unification, but I'll take it sooner. I don't have no problem with that.
I've seen some reports, and I don't know, that they're already talking about Tim Tszyu and Terrence Crawford after that. Some reports may have come out this morning. I see you shaking your head. You may have seen that as well. You don't need an extra motivation for fighting for 2 belts, but does that kind of give you even at least this much more motivation, irk you a little bit?
It's definitely a fight I would want, So I think Terrence Crawford is the pound for pound right now, #1. So if I could beat him, that puts me in a pretty good spot.
But the fact that they're already kind of linking Tim Tszyu's name to that fight, and he hasn't gotten the ring yet with the Towering Inferno yet. Like I said, does that kind of maybe give you a little extra motivation?
You know what? What I've been seeing is that the winner of this fight gets Terrence Crawford fight, not that Tim Tszyu gets the Terrence Crawford fight. Nope, I haven't seen. We are the last minute replacement, but I haven't seen that. I mean, of course, you're gonna see negative feedback from both sides, but I've been seeing pretty positive feedback from my side. So it's whatever the fans want.
Over the past couple of years, you've been featured a lot on major events. And have you ever come in as a last minute replacement or a replacement on a couple of weeks? Is this something new to you?
This is something new to me. But big cards, I'm not shy to those. I'm very familiar with big cards and fighting in these places. This is nothing new. But being a replacement, yeah, I guess so. This is new. But again, I've been in big fights. This is just another thing. But now this is for a world title, so that was make the difference. You
actually had Brian Mendoza in your training camp. How was that? After the last fight, you guys then sparred.
Mendoza was actually with Tim Tszyu.
Oh, he was with Tszyu.
Not me.
What?
He was Tszyu. Yeah.
That was so. Do you think he said that? Actually, I did know that. Bad question on my part. Do you think he's given maybe some intel to Tim Tszyu about Sebastian Fundora?
Well, you can say whatever. It doesn't matter to me. We've been working very hard. With that fight, of course, I got caught. I feel like that punch was all my mistake. I leaned forward. I put my hand down. Those are obvious no-nos in boxing. So, to give him information on Fundora, you're not really going to get too much unless if I make that mistake again, which I definitely don't. I'm planning doing again. So.
How does it make you feel when and I've seen a lot of these reports as well, a lot of people saying we'd rather see Sebastian Fundora against Tim Tszyu than we would have had Keith Thurman. That you're not only a replacement, but a lot of people think that this is a big upgrade as an opponent. How does it make you feel that fans out there now are a lot more interested in this fight, knowing that you're going to be the adversary for Tim Tszyu on Saturday night?
I'm grateful. I'm very grateful that they recognize me as a title contender like that, a fighter of excitement, And of course, I've heard it before that I am an all-action fighter, but to get received like that, especially on last-minute notice, I'm extremely grateful.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing before we let you go? We'll see you. Actually, one last question. Brand new platform, Prime Video. A lot's been made about that. You're right there on the main event, the first pay-per-view card. What are your thoughts on that?
I think Amazon Prime Video is going to be real good for boxing. It's it's the future. You know, this is now streaming on the internet, on all this thing, the TV, all these things. So it's the future. I'm glad that I'm opening it.
Well, what do you want to say to the fans in closing before we see you this Saturday night live on Prime Video, pay-per-view, taking on Tim Tszyu, main event, WBC, WBO, as you said, 2 world title fights on the line.
March 30th, Fundora is going to be crowned the champion, right there with my sister. So there's going to be 2 champions at once, you know, in the Fundora clan, and hope you guys are ready to see it.
There you have it. Sebastian Fundora, thank you for a few minutes of your time. Looking forward to this fight. It's going to be, I think, it's going to be a war in there on Saturday night. I know you're looking forward to that, and the fans are. We thank you for a few minutes. We'll talk to you along the way.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have it, Sebastian Fundora, who will take on Tim Tszyu. I'll give you my predictions on the card. Like I said, I think it's a very exciting card on Saturday night. There's some good fights. That's going to be a war. I mean, Tszyu and Fundora is going to be a war, whether it ends 4 rounds, 7 rounds, 12 rounds, whatever. Both those guys are very offensive-minded. We saw in the last fight, and we'll hopefully for Sebastian's take, he's a little bit more defensively responsible, but he gets hit. He likes to sit in that phone booth, and we'll see how Tszyu responds to the late replacement guy, 6'6", throwing a million punches, a lot of arms and elbows coming at him. So I like Tszyu maybe by late stoppage, like I said, in the war. Also on the card, Rolando Romero defends the WBA Super Lightweight Championship against Isaac Cruz, the lightweight moving up. They take Cruz in the fight. I don't know. But again, two very offensive-minded fighters in this card. A lot of contact in the fight. I think it's going to be, a terrific action fight. I'm going to take Cruz by maybe decision. I think he ekes out decision. Arislandi Lara defends the WBA Middleweight Championship against Michael Zarafa. Again, I think between the age of Lara, says he's 40, 41. Maybe he's a little bit older. Who knows? And Zarafa, who, I think got some experience. We saw him a few years ago. We fought Peter Quillen. Maybe he wasn't ready for that opportunity. He's won some fights back in Australia. He's I actually met him about the end of 2022 at the WBA convention. Very nice young man as well. I think it's a good fight. I think Lara is just experienced, probably gets the job done. And opening up the card will be the WBC Flyweight Championship. Julio Cesar Martinez against Angelino Cordova. I like Martinez a fight. Again, another guy who just brings it. Very offensive-minded fighter. And like I said, Cordova as well. So I think it's going to be a very good fight on Saturday night. Very good card in Las Vegas. Before those fights go on Prime Video pay-per-view, Prime Video will distribute 2 fights on the regular platform. Sergey Boachuk, who was originally supposed to fight Sebastian Fundora, stays on the card to take on Brian Mendoza. Mendoza, who just knocked out Fundora. See, it's like a circle here between Fundora and Boachuk and Mendoza. Throw Tim Tszyu in there. There's some other good 154-pounders out there. I think it's turned into a real fun division. Also, Elijah Garcia, good-looking middleweight prospect, takes on Kyron Davis of Wilmington, Delaware. Saturday night in Inglewood, California, Arsen Goulimirian defends the WBA Cruiserweight title against former super middleweight champion Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. Ramirez, I think this is his second fight up at Cruiserweight after unsuccessfully challenging Dimitri Bivol for the WBA Lightweight Championship, Light Heavyweight Championship. I had a chance to talk to Mr. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, and let me just grab it here, and this is how it went. Now, join me on the line is Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, who this Saturday night takes on Arsen Goulimirian for the WBA Cruiserweight Championship live on DAZN. Zurdo, how you doing today?
Well, I'm doing great. Just here at home, resting.
Last time I talked to you, you were getting your hair cut. So I talked to you. You were actually on the barber's chair. So.
Oh, yeah.
So we're starting fight week here. Your chance to become a 2-division world champion at Cruiserweight. Tell us how you're feeling the week of the fight.
Well, I feel great. I feel exciting for this fight. And it will be an amazing fight, amazing weekend for me. and for the whole Mexican people.
Tell us about Arsen Goulimirian. What were your thoughts on him?
Well, he's a great champion. Obviously, he's undefeated and he's a strong fighter. And I mean, just I feel like it's a pleasure to me to fight him and become a two-time world champion and become one of the biggest name in boxing, because obviously the first Mexican cruiserweight is big for me.
Talk about the move up. Obviously, you were a super middleweight world champion. You fought Bivol for the light heavyweight championship, and now at cruiserweight. Obviously, you put on a lot of weight, in terms of your fighting weight in just a couple of years. How do you feel? Is cruiserweight, you feel it's the best that you felt as a fighter?
Yeah, I feel like I feel good. I didn't have to cut weight, and I mean, it's great.
I know, getting ahead of ourselves. I know when you were at super middleweight, there were your rumors and maybe talk, and eventually you're going to wind up as a heavyweight. Is that still in the plans?
Yeah, still on the plan eventually.
So get back down to this cruiserweight fight. What does Goulimirian? You said he's a real tough guy. A lot of fans have not seen him, especially here in the United States. Without giving too much away, what's like a brief scouting report you have on Goulimirian?
Well, I know that he's training with Abel Sanchez. It will be a Mexican style, because obviously he trained Triple G before, and I think it will be an exciting fight for everyone.
Do you expect this to be, like you said, obviously you're a Mexican fighter. He's trained the Abel Sanchez Mexican style. Do you expect this fight to kind of break out into a war at some point during the night?
Oh yeah, that's kind of the thing that I have, because I mean he's training with a Mexican style, and I mean it will be a great night.
Like you said, how important it is for you to become, there's not many world champions from Mexico who are above, 135, 140, 147 pounds. To be, like I said, to become a cruiserweight champion, being a champion one of the higher weights. What's that mean in terms of maybe even an historical sense in terms of Mexican fighters? Like you said, when you won your title at 168, that was a big deal, because there haven't been many Mexican fighters who won titles at 168. Now to win one at 200, I don't think there have been any Mexican cruiserweight champions.
No, they don't. And I mean, it's great for me, great for my all fans, and I mean, it's big news, and this is big dream for me, and to become a world champion, to achieve my dream. I mean, it's nothing but as a motivation for me.
There's some good champions at cruiserweight. Obviously, Goulimirian, who 27-0, has been a long-time champion. The newly crowned WBC champion, Noel Mikhailian. So there's some, should you win on Saturday night, I mean, there's some really good fights out there for you. Have you looked at the rest of the division, or you're just worried about Saturday night? Well,
right now I just focus on Saturday night, and then after that we'll look for different belts.
What do you want to say to the fans in closing, Zurdo?
Just thank you everyone, and don't miss the fight March 30, and it will be an amazing fight. Put in a lot of great show, and put a great show, and will be a world champion.
There you have it. Thank you for a few minutes of your time. We wish you best of luck Saturday night. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez looking to become a two-division world champion and the Mexican cruiserweight champion as well. Thank you for a few minutes and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez, who I am picking to win the fight on Saturday night. Goulimirian, tough guy, big guy, but I think Gilberto Ramirez is the guy to play Saturday night live on DAZN. Some news items this week. Epic Sports Entertainment announced that Ihor Shevadzutsky, 11-1, 9 knockouts, will now take on Kubrat Pulev, 30-3, 14 knockouts in a 12-rounder this Saturday at the Arena Sofia in Sofia, Bulgaria, for the WBA International Heavyweight Championship. Originally, it was supposed to be the WBA Heavyweight Championship between Pulev and Mahmoud Char. Char got hurt. He sustained a tear in the distal tendon of his bicep while sparring, so he is out. See if that fight gets rescheduled in the future. Lawrence Okoli will challenge Lucas Rozansky for the WBC Bridgerweight Championship on Friday, May 24th in Poland. That'll be live on Sky Sports in the UK and Peacock, United States. Okoli looking to get back into the mix of things and become a world champion at a second weight. It's the former WBO Cruiserweight champion. Former world title challenger and WBA number 4 ranked Thomas Cornflake Lamana will fight for the WBA Gold Championship, take on Johan Gonzalez. That will take place June 8th at Bally's in Atlantic City. The event is going to be promoted by Main Events and Lamana's company, Rising Star Promotions. Emmanuel Navarrete will take on Denis Baranchyk. Navarrete 38-1-1 with 31 knockouts. Baranchyk 18-9 knockouts for the vacant WBO Lightweight Championship. That'll be May 18th in San Diego at the Pechanga Arena. Navarrete will attempt to become a 4-division world champion to join Eric Morales, Jorge Arce, Juan Manuel Marquez, Leo Santa Cruz, Canelo Alvarez as being 4-division world champions from the country of Mexico. Also on the card, Giovanni Santillan will be in the co-feature bout. San Diego native Giovanni Santillan. WBA number 9, IBF number 11, WBC number 15, unbeaten light flyweight prospect Kanmu Sakama, who's only 20 years old, passed away about a week ago. The weigh-in day for his scheduled bout to defend his Japanese youth 108-pound world title against Hayuga Oki on the undercard of 154-pound Japanese title bout, said to have committed suicide because as he couldn't make good condition for the fight. So condolences out as the fight was canceled beforehand, and I guess he, from what we read, passed away. I think that's about it. What we got this weekend? Fraser Clark and Fabio Worley on Sunday as well, live on Peacock, United States, Sky Sports in England. Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing returns the Mohegan Sun with world-rated Richie the Popeye Sailorman Rivera, 25-2, 19 knockouts. He makes a appearance in New England, where he's from. He takes on 23-0, 23 knockouts, Matthew Obina. That'll be the 10-round light heavyweight bout. Rivera, who's ranked number 5 by the WBA and number 7 by the WBC, number 9 by the IBF, and number 14 by the WBO. I think he's ranked at cruiserweight by the WBO. Obina will be making his United States debut. So that's it for the show this week. I want to thank our guests, Gilberto Ramirez and Sebastian Fundora. Got a lot of interviews coming up this week. Got some stuff with Oscar Valdez and got some stuff with Juan Carlos Correa. We'll be fighting Thursday night live on DAZN as well. So check that out on Abrams Boxing. You see the scroll at the bottom of the screen. Abrams Boxing on YouTube, 15 rounds for all the boxing news. Marc Abrams Boxing on Instagram. Abrams Sports Inc. on Twitter. I think Marc Abrams Boxing on TikTok as well. So you see everything scrolling on the bottom. Next week, we have another big show planned for you as well. We'll give all the reviews and results of the packed weekend. It's going to be an unbelievable weekend. I'll be going back to Nashville for Country Box next Tuesday. So check your local listings. We'll have that live on Abrams Boxing on YouTube as well. So if you want to watch Country Box, the hottest growing series in all boxing with the great boxing, great country music acts live from the Troubadour in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm Marc Ames. We'll see you next week.